Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm sharing a bright page I created, recording a memory from our trip, and I'm going to show you how I combined a few of the new perspectives from Bramble Fox on my page. When these two sets of perspectives arrived, I knew that I wanted to use them on one of our Disney vacation pages. I'm going to be recording a memory of the first day of our trip. This page is going to be bright and playful, so I've picked out a few patterns from my collection, and I'm going to be pairing them with this lovely blue destination perspective and some sweet little hibiscus florals. My album is an 8.5 by 11 album, so I've gone ahead and cut down some patterns for the background, and I'm laying out the design. I've cut some little pineapples from pattern papers using my Cricut, and I'm going to be layering these down the center of the page. I'm playing with a few of the elements here, trying to decide which colors I want to use on the page. I want to use primarily yellow to focus on the Dole Whip dessert and bring in a few other colors that match while still maintaining that magical theme. I love this bright set of stripes and how it has all of the colors I want to use on the page. So I'm going to place that across the base. I am grabbing a few other patterns here that I might end up changing, but I really just want to figure out the placement of everything so that I can mark off the area for some inking. I want to create a soft blend of pink behind the pineapples to help them stand out a little bit more against that white pattern background. I am using spun sugar with just a little bit of ink to give it a hint of color. I'm just using a blending brush here to add the color onto my page so that it peeks out behind each one of those pineapples. Now, once I've added the ink, I'm going to bring in some oxide spray in a saltwater taffy color. I'm going to use a paintbrush to add a few splatters. The brush is giving me a little bit more control than just spraying it on the page, and it allows me to concentrate most of the splatters in the pink areas. I'm going to bring back my pineapples and start assembling these. These are some Cricut cuts that I found, but there are some great little SVGs out there that you could use. The image I chose in Cricut Design Space was just an outline of the pineapple. So I used the contour tool to create some new cuts, like a background piece, the leaves, and a few darker yellow pieces for my larger pineapple. I wanted the leaves to stand out a bit on these, so I'm roughing up the edges with my fingernail, and then I'm going to add them onto the pineapple with foam tape. You might have noticed that those leaf pieces are stuck on my Cricut mat. When I have little puzzle pieces like this, I like to keep them together on the Cricut mat so that I know where they need to go. When the leaves were all in place, I did add a few bits of yellow to the larger pineapple. I cut these from some magical star paper so that they fit the theme. Now I'm going to bring everything back into the page and see what else I want to add. Even though we didn't get the greatest picture of it, I wanted to make sure that the Dole Whip in the photo is the focal point because it was such a big deal to my husband. I have added a little sticker that says treats and a sentiment that says time for something sweet. I want to tie the destination title to the word treats, so I'm bringing in a stamp that says just here for. I want to stamp it on this label, but the label's not quite big enough, so I'm just going to stamp the words here for. I'm going to mask off a portion of the stamp, and then I'm going to stamp it in blue to match other parts of the title. I took a little break and decided to add some stitching to the page, and then I picked out a tag that I want to use for the story. As I'm putting this together, I am going to tell you why this part of the vacation was so memorable. My husband is a huge theme park fan and had a list of things he wanted to do, which included trying Dole Whip. After the flight and checking into the hotel, we decided to get some lunch, and we spent the day walking around some shops. Of course, one of the first treats he grabbed after lunch was a Dole Whip. He was so excited to share this pineapple-flavored dessert with me. Now, I must admit, it wasn't what I expected, but he really enjoyed it. One of my favorite parts of the trip was seeing all the things that he was able to experience. Now, as you can see here, I have pulled out some little bits from this collection, along with some puffy stickers and sentiments. I want to create a diagonal across the page, building little clusters of embellishments at the base of the page and at the top. I want to keep most of the weight at the bottom of the page so that I don't take away from the photo. I found a little Dole Whip sticker that I've tucked behind the pineapple. The blue on the cup of the sticker brings some of the blue from the title to this part of the page. In the cluster, I'm going to tuck a little heart sticker to help link a few of the elements together. And then I'm going to add a little yum puffy because, of course, my husband thought the Dole Whip was very yum. To link this all to the title, I'm going to bring in a few more puffy stickers that are the same color as that frame I stamped the title on. This kit has some circles and some partial circles that look like little ears, making it really easy to build a little character. This element reminds me of those hidden icons you find throughout all the parks. I'm going to repeat the blue color at the top with a polka dot heart sticker, and I'm going to be putting this on that tag. This is going to form a nice visual triangle with the title and the little Dole Whip cup. I have added stitching at the base of the page and behind the photo, and I feel like I need something up here with a thread texture. So I've gone ahead and punched a hole in the tag, and then I'm just going to tie some white thread through it. At this point, I was struggling with the placement of that flower, so I moved it off the photo and gave it a little bit of breathing room. I'm also going to repeat the phrase shape up here, but I'm going to be using pink. I'm also going to bring in another yellow star puffy to match the two yellow puffies I added at the base of the page. And now I think I need another black and white element. I don't want too much up here, so I settled on a black and white star near the heart and a statement that I've cut out from some pattern paper. There were some different typed sentiments on this pattern, and I found one that says worth the wait, which is how my husband felt when he first enjoyed his Dole Whip. All right, I'm going to finish this design off camera, and then we can take a look at the finished page. So here's the finished layout that turned out so bright and fun. I've added a few more splatters to the page and some little bits of stitching. I also brought in some bright yellow acrylic dots to match the color of the pineapple Dole Whip. Now, even though the Dole Whip didn't show up much in the photo, I think this page does help to tell the story. I will be typing my journaling onto this tag later, and it will tuck right behind that photo. I rarely use this color palette, but I do like how this page turned out with those fun little Cricut cut pineapples and bright pink hibiscus paired with the soft blue title and little bits of green. The title was a great play on words with our destination being here for the treats, because having Dole Whip was the first thing he grabbed and it became a highlight of the trip. I'm going to share some close-up photos of this layout so that you can see all the lovely details on the page. This page records some fun vacation memories for our 8.5 by 11 vacation album. Even though we aren't the greatest at taking selfies with our food, I was still able to share the story of our first day on a vivid layout. Thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you would like to see more of my projects, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.